Hello, dear brothers and sisters. Happy Easter and happy Ramadan. It's about to start tomorrow. My name is Nafi Abunab. Many of you know me, and many of you don't know me. Those who don't know me can go to my website, www.abookofnothing.com, and can download my book, Nothing, which was published in 2007, which basically, if you read it, tells you what has happened and what is about to happen. Back then, I stuck my neck out and said that there is a worldwide depression coming around the corner. And people laughed at me. They said, You're crazy. This is the 2007. There's no depressions coming around. This is the great US of A. When the shit hit the fan in 2008, I turned from a crazy man into a genius. And everybody asked me what's going to happen next. Now, the reason why I'm talking to you today is because many of you have been through a big ordeal. Have gone through the coronavirus. Some have lost some loved ones. Some have loved ones in the hospitals, and many of you are scared shitless. The truth is there's nothing for you to be scared of. They want you to be scared. That's why they keep publishing all the news. But what is there to be scared of a virus that you can kill with soap and water and with hot air? Because it doesn't take any temperature higher than 79 degrees. It dies at 79 degrees, which is 25 degrees centigrade. So a lot of the states that opened the beaches, that's the best thing that they could do. Anybody that is sick, go and swim in the beach and sit in the sun and you'll be cured. The reason why they want you to be scared is because they want people to die. All the indications are that this is a manufactured virus. It cannot happen natural because it has in its strain the DNA of AIDS, and this doesn't happen in nature. Simply because I don't think bats go to sleep with people infected with AIDS nor suck their blood. At any rate, many of you have been reciting our Lord's Prayer without thinking about it, but it's about to happen. It's about to become real. God's kingdom on earth is about to happen, and our debts are about to be forgiven because the system that they call capitalism or manufacturing, printing money out of nothing, and then lending it to the people is unsustainable, as you all know. And all the money and the checks that the governments are spending on you now, giving it to you, is basically getting you more in debt that you and your children are going to have to pay because they represent you and they're spending the money on your behalf on you. But this system is unsustainable. I'm not going to get into that too much because you all know its history and you know how the Federal Reserve Bank back in 1913 took the right of the people to print the money and started printing it themselves. And now they print it out of nothing and they lend it to you and to the government and to the governments of the people of the world, and they expect it to get paid back to them with interest. That's why the debt of the world right now is at 265 trillion, money that can never be paid back because they have to take another loan to pay the debt that they already have. So they can never get out of it. And it's basically like having somebody in a real deep hole and they're throwing him a shovel and telling him to dig deeper to get out. You're never going to get out of it. Not you, not the government, not the world. So it has to be forgiven since they created it out of nothing. That system is unsustainable. All of you are sitting at home now with no work and you're panicking, while you look at countries that are basically socialist like Canada and Italy and what have you, and Australia, They're telling people stay at home. We're going to pay you whatever you were making because their system is set up that way. The U.S. system isn't set up that way. They got to come up with money, and that money that they come up with, basically, the Congress has to vote to get deeper in debt so that they can pay you this money. But you have to pay it back because that's how the system is, you know. They're bloodsuckers. They want to suck your blood through taxes. They've taught you that the only two things in life are taxes and death, and they're making them both happen, death before taxes. Now, this is going to help them a lot because a lot of the old people that are rich are dying. They're going to at least take 50%, if not more, of whatever money they made. Plus, they're going to save all the payments of Social Security and Medicare, that is basically the biggest item in the budget. So that's why a lot of old people are dying. What I want to get to you today is basically the crux of the matter. Something I've been talking about and nobody has been paying attention, which is basically ecology and how we can all save the world by basically doing all the things that we can with the technology that we have to save our planet. But of course, there's no feasibility study for saving the earth or having clean air. See, there's no money out of it, so nobody puts any money in it. They need a feasibility study for that. Well, we cannot destroy the earth. We can only destroy the circumstances that make life favorable for us on earth. And we have done a lot, and I'm not going to get into that. We have about 60 million, people that have been displaced out of their homes worldwide, immigrants. Plus, we have over 200 million people that have been out of work before the coronavirus. Now, with the coronavirus, probably these numbers are going to jump to 600, 700 million. That's about at least 1/10 of the world population. And while we have so much stuff that we need to do to make the world a better place in terms of cleaning the oceans, cleaning the streams, making our environment better, of course we can't do any of that because there's no money for it. Even though money is the easiest thing, it's the hardest thing. We don't have money to do any of the things that need to be done for this planet because there is no feasibility study. Well, now we're about to pay the price in big time. Basically, to explain it simply, the global warming that has been due to the excess of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere that has been holding the heat, increasing the temperature of the earth, has basically caused a lot of the both poles, the polar poles, the South Pole and the North Pole, a lot of the ice in it melted, some as big as the state of Delaware. And water is heavy. These are trillions of gallons of water that have gone into the oceans and are pressing on the earth crust. And underneath the earth crust, there is the mantle, which is like paraffin. And the pressure on it has been making the mantle go through the cracks of the earth, go up. As they've been going up, they've been causing a lot of earthquakes, as you can remember from last year and the years before. And underneath it, the magma has been coming up. Now it is reaching the surface, where volcanoes are active and they're about to explode big time. Two volcanoes have already exploded, and I said that is going to happen in February. The Krakatau volcano in Indonesia, that's a mega volcano, exploded about a week ago, followed by the Reykjanes volcano in Iceland, which basically what they do when they explode is they spew a lot of the sulfur into the upper atmospheres of the earth. When sulfur goes up into the air, it gets oxidated when it reacts with oxygen and becomes sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is silvery, and then it blankets the outer atmosphere of the earth, which basically prohibits the sun from coming through, and it cools off the earth. That's why we've had snow in Michigan on the 17th of April due to that. Now, if another mega volcano comes out, and which is going to happen within 2 months, real mega volcano, and most likely out of the US from the Yellowstone Park, it's going to blanket the earth and it's going to cause the earth to cool down. And not just cool down, it might even cause a mini ice age, which will cause all the crops around the earth to fail. Now they are saying that the world hunger is, they're expecting by the end of the year about 265 million people to really be hungry or starving because there isn't enough food, and the food reserves of the world are at their lowest in a long, long time, in a record time. They expect that there is enough food for about 3 months. But you see, the crops are basically where the food comes from, not the supermarket. All the manufactured food comes from the origin from plants. So if we don't have plants, nothing else is going to exist. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because the whole earth have to come together right now. There are wars going on, and some people are talking about how the world is going to be after the coronavirus and what's going to happen next year, and will the economy be able to recover. All these questions will be obsolete. They'll have nothing to do with what's going to happen with what we are about to face. The whole world has to come together now, and many areas of the earth that were heaven, parts of heaven, like Australia after the fires, that turned into hell. You look at other places from hurricanes that were heaven turned into hell. The areas of heaven and hell on earth are going to be exchanging places very fast. The deserts are going to be the places that are going to produce food, or lands that have basically houses, or where we're using agroponics to produce food. But why would anybody be using agroponics to produce food when they can produce weed? Weed is more expensive and they can make more money. But of course, you can't eat weed. So we need to erect a lot of plastic houses. Now, I'm going to say this, and many of you are going to laugh at me because I'm sticking my neck. But basically, it reminds me of a story that is quite funny. It's told about a Polak that was traveling through Texas when a redneck cop stopped him. He was driving his VW Beetle car and told him to get out of the car, and took him to the side of the road and put a circle around the earth in the sand, told him to stand in that circle and not to get out of it. Then the cop proceeded to go to his car and ask him how come he has a broken light. He says, I don't have a broken light. So the cop takes his stick and boom, busts it. And the Polak starts laughing. And you know that's the wrong thing to do with a redneck cop. So he got really pissed. So he went and broke the other light. And each time he breaks something, the Polak laughs harder. So this guy just went berserk. He started smashing his windshield, his windows, demolished his car. And each time he hits the car, breaks something in it, the Polak laughs harder. By the end, the car was totally demolished. And so the cop goes to him and says, what the hell are you laughing at, you dumb Polak? He says, well, I stepped 10 times out of the circle without you seeing me. Now, as stupid as funny as this seems to be, this is basically what's happening to us. They have put circles with their laws that are unapplicable, and they're holding us to them. And they're applying those laws to you right now, telling you to stay at home while you don't need to stay at home. You need to go out and work, and you need to go in the sun and bathe, and you don't need, you can take precautions, but the coronavirus isn't anything to be scared of. But if you're scared of it, it's going to get into your mind and it's going to cause your death also. You have to stay happy. I'm going to continue talking later because this is a long topic, but I just wanted to share this with you right now. Go to my website, www.abookofnothing.com. abookofnothing.com, download it, and read what's written in it, and you're going to be astonished. Talk to you soon.